Hello, everybody. Leon back here with episode 142. Before we begin on 142, I want to just go ahead and give you a few words of our sponsor here today on today's podcast. And today it is Zenni Optical. If you have not heard of Zenni, I have my own pair of Zenni Optical right now, and I love Zenni Opticals. In fact, I've just ordered one this week, and I love it. And it's actually coming into the mail at some point next week by Monday, and I cannot wait. Zenni Opticals, it's wonderful. If you've not tried Zenni Opticals, it is one of the best use cases for using while you're working on the computer on your screen or gaming, streaming, just like I am every single time on Twitch. In fact, I love this, and it is one of the best things I've ever used. It's pretty much an eye saver, and it blocks any blue light that comes into your eyes. And studies show that it does a lot of harmful effects into your eyes, and plus it will degrade your eyes if you continue staring at the screen for long, looking at the screen while you're working or playing games. And that's why having Zenni's, to me, it's one of the best products out there for blue lights. I definitely recommend it 100% to everybody, and it is great. And I've had it for now more than 6 months already. And thanks to a friend that gifted it to me, I want to give you a word of this product, and I think this has been a true godsend that it has helped me out while I am working. Go ahead, check out Zenni's. Use the affiliate link down below on the show notes and check out Zenni's. Using the affiliate code will help me out too. Not also it just helps me out, but also helps you can use the code to shop there, help your eyes out, and for there, you will not regret it. Next, it is Brave browser. If you've not heard of Brave browser, and pretty much is now being used with 26.5 million users all over the world. It is a very popular browser right now, starting to climb over Chrome and Firefox. And what it is very, very good about Brave, has tons of privacy features. It comes built in with Tor, which is awesome if you're going to be private surfing on the net. And that's something I recommend using if you're looking at information that you cannot find. Brave, it is a great browser. And if you've not used Brave, it has been a great replacement. I've been using Brave for now 4 years. 4 years, and I love Brave. And this is something I recommend to all my listeners and to everyone out there to use Brave to protect your privacy if you have not. And it's actually one of the few privacy browsers out there that does a really stand-up job. So what are you waiting for? Check out Brave. Use the description down below. And with that said, let's go on to today's episode of 146. Hello, everybody. Thank you for taking a listen of the Leon LeGray podcast, your source of all tech news, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And your host, as always, Leon LeGray, coming up at you with all new on what's going on for the week ahead. And goodness gracious, we are now on episode 146 of the Leon LeGray podcast. In goodness gracious, I've wanted to get on with different talks on different subjects along the way. And the news cycle, from what I've been listening to for the week, it's just been ongoing. And now, right now in the second month of the year, and it is February. And last month, towards the end of last month, and I have to say though, I didn't even believe what I've actually experienced. And the tech world is just now going on at it with so many things coming at people's faces right now. And as everyone's heard, with the whole shabacle of GameStop, AMC stocks, what's been happening at the same time, and of course with everybody talking about technology, especially with the whole stock market being linked into the tech world and where this is going. And here's one of the things that a lot of people are saying about um, we are at right now too. And I think this is definitely a very good conversation about where the whole tech industry is going at it, and especially and and with here we got with going on with GameStop and the markets, and especially with Reddit being involved with it too. But however, Reddit especially, it plays a big part on what's going on with everything in the world, and especially I mean, if it wasn't for Reddit, Reddit is pretty much the biggest culture here in the internet. And to me, the whole story with GameStop, AMC stocks, and so much that's been happening throughout the past last 6 days, it's been one hell of a ride. And though I've been kind of pushing myself aside from what's been going on, and especially I've been trying to work on a story for Bots on the Go and my blog. But with everything happening all at once, it's just hard to get a story down when you've got story after story and trying to get a piece of the angle right there too. And so that's what has been happening since. And now it's pretty much the GameStop story. As everybody knows, the GameStop story is not going to die away overnight, and that's one thing everybody's have to know. And in this episode, we're definitely going to get onto what we've experienced, or what the hell is going on with everything else. Well, now to start off right here, I want to go ahead and start off with GameStop. And since GameStop has been a very, very huge story, and I think this is very much so much to dig into right there too. And as everyone realize what we've seen with the events of last week, since now it's right now been now past the last week, and I've heard the story blew up from a signal. Actually, I wouldn't say a signal message. In fact, I heard this back on Twitter, and I first realized, this is just a bunch of noise coming from the internet. Like, the first thing I've seen was GameStop, Dogecoin, and then there was a lot of things trending along the way too, which it just got me scratching my head, like what was going on with the whole scene, right? And that was where it didn't come to pieces until I read a little bit, and then I had a friend that actually follows this this whole scene right there too, and it was just very crazy, and there was just a lot of noise. And Robinhood was a big part of the story as well. Not to forget that especially Robinhood took away buying options for people to buy. And that, which is very important, because a lot of people use Robinhood, especially the younger generations, like the millennials are used. And then Webull, not to forget Webull on the other hand as well. They were as just part of the story as Robinhood too. And that was one of the big things going on. And as anyone knows, GameStop is a video game chain where people buy, sell, and trade games. And as a business that's been going on for some time, the business for local video games hasn't been doing well in the United States, and I'm sure it hasn't around the world, because everybody is for right now, better or worse, downloading games, which that's the most convenient way. And also you're seeing a lot of people downloading games on their PlayStation 4, Xbox Series 3X, PlayStation 5, and their PCs, which to me, that's where a lot the gaming business has died down. So, and to put it down and to summarize what had happened and with everything going on. So, and and also with people having so much time on their hands, and this is where I find it, the whole Red story was so funny, and I actually kind of laughed about what was going on. So when I've heard about what was going on about the whole situation, was there was people that band together, right? And people decided to go on and buy GameStop stocks, right? And for some reason, the people on Reddit just found out that the stocks, the value of GameStop was worth a lot more than people thought, and so there was people that kind of just did a bunch of price discovery, and they were just going through research, and basically these are just people with free time in their hands, and just finding out about these things on their own with their own intuition, right? And so, as people have known, or so people known, which pretty much the way a free market works, which if you were to buy a stock, of course, you pretty much earn back what you've made off your trade. So, and I'm not going to be 100% of what I'm going to be saying, of course, but however, I'm sure I know a good bit about how stocks works. But however, with so many scattered news, what I've seen left and right, I won't get everything correct. But the way they were saying about how this was executed, and for some reason, there were pretty much people like the top guys and Wall Street that were calling this as the short. They were shorting the stock. And so what happened is that they've shown that the stock was, they made it look like it was very much less than what what it was worth, and so that's what they were telling people. And so the people from the big guys, or the big wigs from Wall Street, just shortened the amount right there too. And so, but however, GameStop stocks actually was worth a lot more what people actually knew, which kind of tells you a lot about that how Wall Street is operating, and especially behind closed doors. And especially nobody knows what the hell goes on behind closed doors anyways. It's just to begin with too. I mean, if you look at the state of what's going on, I mean, the whole thing with Wall Street is just very, very, very corrupt, right? And especially you have all these hedges, these hedge funds they know what they're doing, and they're just performing all this behind closed doors. And so however, these smart individuals on Reddit just decided to go on and pretty much go on collectively and just place their bets on what they knew, what they've known from their own analysis and their own studies. And so pretty much it's not just about a couple of guys, a few guys. It was just a couple of many guys in Reddit decided to do this. And so it was funny because my friend was sharing me this Reddit page called WallStreet Bets, which is absolutely incredible. And so you have memes talking about Wall Street, and people are just strategizing, which is actually incredible. It's actually incredible how people are going through this. It is absolutely nuts. And so what has happened is that when people bought stocks and bought so many stocks, people were wondering like why people bought so many stocks. And so what happened with people buying all these stocks, and people were over using the apps like Robinhood, Webull, and what happened was that they were gaining a lot more off the GameStop stocks that from what they were told, and they pretty much they short squeeze it, and somehow they were making a lot of money. In fact, the the amount that they were showing that time, the GameStop was like around over $300. It was insane. It was actually pretty insane. Where what I was just seeing on the internet, absolutely insane. And I'm sure that the people like the hedge funds were just going nuts, just panicking, because they were losing a lot of money. And also, what the research I've done, the videos I've watched from other commentators, how they were explaining about the whole situation was that these hedge funds, I mean, these hedge funds on Wall Street, they to be exact, what they were actually saying was that the people that were running those hedge funds were pretty much close to bankruptcies, or to that point, and it was pretty much a couple of hedge funds were going into bankruptcy. And just like anything else, the way the times are going, I mean, I'm sure they have to make money, and they have to do, of course, do anything to cover their asses and shorten the stock of the price, or whatever they can do. So that's why it is definitely important to follow the details. But however, so much of the internet goes so fast. It's so much. I could really explain into in so much details in one podcast, which I would definitely try to do everything all I can. And so to put the story together, and while it was very funny, where everyone decided to come together and try to maximize the GameStop stock, and it rose really high. And in fact, there was an article that said right here, it says the shares have been losing ground after recently surged to extra day highs of over 450. And that, there you go. And I always thought it was like 300, but of course, with the news going on, you can't really keep up with everything that has to be done, because it was very crazy. Because now also, I actually looked over that news cycle, and when a friend told me about the whole situation, I felt it was very, very weird. And I thought it was so, the whole story was so hyped up that day. I was like, okay, probably this is just a story that will go on and die out super quick, right? Nothing. This is nothing that it will ever be such a very much a big story after the next day. But to me, this story was very much bigger than anyone would have ever thought, because at this point, this is a very big story that became very much not just national news, but just internationally. And this is what it tells you, how messed up a system like this too. It's really, really messed up. And you know that these people were, for God knows how long, they were doing these these shorts, right, and selling people short stocks, right. And it's been crazy, because how long have they been going on in Wall Street like this? And it's just pretty messed up, because I know the little guys, all they wanted to do is just make tons of money, right? And I know that the big guys, I know those people from the hedge funds have to make money, especially where what they were doing, especially how they were doing this, is that they were pretty much shorting the stock, telling people that GameStop hasn't been performing well for the last couple of years, and which, while it is true, it has been doing too well for the last couple of years, but this was pretty much done in purpose, right? This was very much very, very, very much on purpose on Wall Street too. And now next, I know that the next thing that they're wanting to do is, I know, especially like the headlines, especially like now you got people like regulators that are saying that they want to regulate the stock market and to stop all this corruption, yada yada yada. But for me, I have to say that this is going to be very, very hard to regulate the stock market, because for one, first of all, this is supposed to be a free market. I don't think the stock market should have any regulatories, any more regulatories than it has to, for one, because I mean we are heavily regulated here in the United States. However, I just don't think it needs to be regulated whatsoever. But I think that's just more of a patch hole for people to do, is regulate these corrupt hedgers, right? And these hedge funds that are just doing shady stuff behind closed doors. And I understand that hedge funds have to make money. They've got to do something to help themselves right there too. And the way I see it right there is, on the other hand, when people were using apps like Robinhood and Webull, and they were putting the blame on Robinhood, and there are people, even especially 5 to 6 days later, still blame the app on what had happened, especially. And to me, I never trusted Robinhood for the very beginning. I didn't because I always had a bad feeling, especially when you're not heavily big into stocks. Like for me, I'm not into stocks, and I never got into stocks. And I know that especially this week, what I decided to do is just open up an eToro account and decided to trade on crypto. And so far, I've been making some good gains on crypto over the past 2 days. So today I made like 22%, which is pretty awesome. So woohoo! But anyways, I've enough gloating about that. But however, and of course, when it comes to investing, there are tons and tons of strategy. And to me, I'm pretty much the wrong person to be asking for advice on that too, because especially when you're dealing with the stocks, it's pretty much a numbers game. You're pretty much putting your money out there of a game of chance. So in order to get a bigger investment or a bigger return, so off that trade. So that's how it all works. And so that's one thing, is that it kept me so fascinated with this, is that with all the young people over there, I think they pretty much simply decided to go ahead, educate themselves, and pretty much kind of beat the big man, which to me, Robinhood is supposed to take things from the rich and make it from the poor. And that's what the whole concept of Robinhood. But it's so backwards now, because here our Robinhood closed the buys from the Gamestop stocks, and also the AMC stocks as well. So that's what happened from that point, because people were buying the same stocks, and they were getting a lot more out of that same stock. And God knows how many stocks they were buying. But anyways, you would have been one of the very few to purchase those stocks and kept them. So that was something right there too. Plus, I never invested in GameStop, and so that right there, that didn't apply to me too, because I'm just someone that follows the trends on technology, all that fun stuff too. But I think it is definitely important where people should do investing, and right there too, when it comes to investing applications. I think that is one as well, is that people have to look into the education on putting your money in a trade, or putting an investment on long term, because I will want to take investment advice out of some guy in the internet too, or some low blow that doesn't know crap about freaking investments, especially that when a person that doesn't or hasn't gone through the logics, and especially that haven't played the numbers game for a very long time. So that's one of the things, is that if you start to look into things in investing, of course, I think if you want to know the stock term lingo, you especially got to learn your way around things, especially if you're going to play the game. You got to play the game stokes right there. You just got to do that. I mean, investment in PD, I've actually learned a couple of investment terminology, which is useful if you're gonna be putting your money on the line and making big gains, which is always going to be very, very good. And I know that the whole madness of the take right there too, because the where I see with everybody, and it's crazy because in fact, I was seeing where I was seeing this as well, like while Dogecoin was actually trending, believe it or not, Dogecoin, which I have to say, for I never owned Dogecoin. I don't think in the future I will ever own that coin ever. In fact, Dogecoin made it up, actually climbed up on the 14th top coin, and it's incredible. It's very incredible too. And the price mark on Doge was actually 5 cents. It was actually a little bit over 5 cents. And then after uh, a day or two later, the value of Dogecoin just dropped, um, so low too. In fact, what was it in the last 7 days? In fact, let me take a look over the last 7 day charts. Wow. So it was actually more than 40. Yeah, it was actually more than 40%, um, in the last 7 days, and then 24 hours. 24 hours ago it was 10%, and now it has just dropped too. So to me, I just don't think it's as reliable or a token that I will ever keep in my portfolio. To me, there's people that mine Doge thinking that, oh, that's a coin that I'm gonna go and keep in my portfolio and let it grow, right? But to me, that's a meme coin that will not be taken serious for the long run. But anyways, I know I'm going to be wrong about this. And this is something a lot of people will kind of point the finger and say, hey, Dogecoin has some utilities, has some power, units to it too. How dare you not get into Doge? But to me, I'm not going to even get into it too. But I'm sure there are a couple of cryptocurrencies and altcoins out there that are going to be worthwhile, much more worthwhile than Doge will ever be. I'm just saying, because I know Bitcoin Cash has been doing actually decent there. My hopes right now, I think Chainlink is going to do very, very well and perform very, very well. In fact, Chainlink right now, I'm seeing here in the charts today, it is Thursday, or actually, excuse me, I should say it is Friday right now too. Chainlink has actually soared an all-time high right now. Goodness gracious. So if you look at Link, it is now $26. So that tells you right there that you got other projects that are doing really, really well. And I actually purchased Chainlink when it was at its low around $14-15, and now it is up on $26. So that tells you something, that there are bigger and better projects out there too that are doing phenomenally well. To me, I am just saying, because if you do the research, I think you can get into cryptocurrencies that are going to be performing a lot better than Doge will ever be. Just me. I know. Because I know a friend of mine that he decided to keep using Robinhood after the whole shabacle. And I'm thinking, why will you ever do that? But to me, that friend of mine, he's an adult. He can figure things out, and he can grow. He's going to have to learn and grow out of this one here. Because for me, I don't know. I really don't know why anyone would ever want to keep Doge if that's not going to hold any potential long term right there too. But anyways, I'm not going to try to make a fuss over it. But if you want to keep your Doge, you keep your Doge. I'm not going to go and do any Doge, or not that much Doge. Hey, if it goes over 10 cents, probably I would take it much more seriously. Believe me, I would ever. And to me, where I see the story, that's going to continue. It's definitely going to continue for days and days on end, and especially with the forum still active as of now over in Reddit, WallStreet Bets. This is a huge forum right now too. I mean, how many people are in this? Like 469K. I'm actually in the group right now as I'm speaking. It is really active right now with people posting on more than the hour, and I think it's still going to continue to be very very big. And I think a lot of people are definitely seeing a big awakening, or as I can call it, the great awakening of what is going on with people's investments and uh, where where it's happening right now too. It is really powerful. And if I could say this right there too, especially with everything, I think a lot of people are waking up to it too, with what's going on with traditional finances and Wall Street, big banks going on too. And if I have to say this right there, is this is something, this is really kick ass. And I think this is something that should have been like 10 years ago with Occupy Wall Street back in 2012. And this is where I think this is where it's been, with everything being done on the internet and just kicking Wall Street's ass virtually. This is really cool right there, too. And while everybody in Occupy Wall Street were out in the streets protesting outside of the New York Stock Exchange and over there too. While I say that this is very much a big issue right there too. However, I think one of the biggest issues I see is with people still getting screwed over by big banks and people that's running the show behind the scenes in a play and what they're doing to conduct this. And I think it is very, very important for people to get off of big banks. And if you want to get rid of what is going on, and I'm sure that people out there are still trying to get themselves to be very, very dependent off away from the system. And the U.S. markets, however, it's definitely going to be worse and worse, especially where I'm looking over in the Biden administration. And to me, what had happened back in Occupy Wall Street in 2012 during the Obama era, right there too. This right here, it's not going to be no different. And this is going to be a scenario that's going to happen again and again and again. And this is where I think where your position is at. Big Wall Street, yes, it is a issue, but however, big government is absolutely a bigger issue. And because the fact that government that can definitely back can be can go ahead and bail Wall Street with again, and I think they can do that again too. My honest opinion, they can do that. And people said that there's no way this time that Wall Street is going to get bailed out again. And with people having the power to go through things in the internet, and they can go ahead and get those guys where they can get them or get them where they deserve, which I think it's very very radical, and it's really cool what they're doing. But however, I think they're gonna get bailed out again. Again, they're out in a Biden administration. That is no different, and I think it's gonna be no different than from what we're seeing right there too. I think it's really cool that the power of the internet has very much given people a rise what they can do. In fact, I do think that a lot of people are going to start using banks less and less with people living in the United States. Where, however, how I see this right there is that all the money and all the transactions, whether you're spending money for a home, a grocery store, whatever it may be, too, right there too. I think where the whole situation it's going to come down is this: people don't want their purchasing power to be spent or tracked through a credit card or debit card, and nobody wants that type of scrutiny right there too. And I think it's going to hurt a lot of people, especially in the middle to lower class, where I think your people are definitely going to use different kind of things with their money they're going to be using to spend on whatever they can spend on to help, definitely to help themselves too. Especially if people were to find out that they're using the money to, especially get more and more money, especially going through trading sites like Ameritrade, Vanguard, wherever it may be. However, I think a lot of people don't recognize this. In fact, I've done some reading. Whenever you're doing bets or doing trades over on stock trading, however, people forget is that you're gonna have to definitely put a return on 1099 R's or pay the capital gains that you make in trading in some sort of trading view, and that's where people are definitely are don't realize that too, especially with people that's done the GameStop stuff. Even though it was cool, but however, I don't think the people in GameStop will realize that they're gonna have to pay the extortion taxes when it all comes down to as well. But I think where I can see is that there's no way I'm gonna pay that sort of capital gains tax along with all that right there too. That's a one thing I'd say. It's a joke. I would not do that. Absolutely not. And to me, the whole Biden administration and the United States, that if you think that making stocks is going to make you money, guess again. It's not. It really isn't. And that's where I think it's going to be very, very dangerous. In fact, having to keep a bank account with you and having your spending power to be monitored all the time is going to be much scary. And tracing your every movement is going to be very scary. It's like, especially with the United States being very regulated and all the time, what you're going to be doing. And then here people say that, I live in a free country, even though my own country is tracking me down every single day of what I'm doing in my every step and every movement I take. Hey, I'm still living in this free country, while in that fact, if you think you are, you're just being lied to. I'm sorry, you're just being so damn delusional. Yeah. Oh gosh, the home of the brave, the land of the free. Wow, can't believe it. It's so crazy. But to me, I think the government wants to do next is definitely going to do anything to regulate. It's just more insanity. Like, regulate this, regulate that. But I don't think everybody in Wall Street is all entirely bad. But I think the people like the hedge funds are just they are pretty much out of control. That's how I see it right there too. It's this is definitely a out of control situation where people wants to definitely, the regular folks and then the people and like the hedge funds it's going to be a very nasty battle. Where I see this, it's definitely going to be very, very nasty. And who knows? Who knows if this is going to be resolved, or if any regulation is going to, even the slightest regulation is going to fix this problem. That's something that's going to be beyond me right there too. Because right now, that's something I don't follow the laws on this, and to me, there's so much that has that's to go on right there too. It's just a lot. It's just a lot right there to jot down on how I see this. But this is a story that's not going to stop being talked about right there too, and especially with people like, especially Business Insiders still talking about this. Reuters, CNN, CNBC, all these financial channels are going to still talk about this too, especially what is going on. And again, I think Wallstreet Bets, the Reddit page, I think is still going to continue to be a very, very big thing, not just a week, not just 2 weeks, but a very long time. And now here we are, especially the PCMag.com did actually wrote a piece about this, just to read a bit about it, which says Wallstreet Bets Reddit forum faces infringing hostile takeover accusations. Active moderators on r/Wallstreet Bets say they have been banned by old moderators who returned to the forum after extended absences, reportedly to cash in on the the subreddit's growing popularity. Whew. A power struggle is ranking r/Wallstreet Bets on the Reddit forum that sparked the new meme stock craze, and it likely all comes down to greed. Starting on Wednesday, at least 3 moderations for r/Wallstreet Bets posted that they've been banned from the forum, allegedly in a hostile takeover executed by all their moderators. We've been taken hostage by the top mods, wrote the user ZJZ in a now deleted but archived post. They left for years but came back when they smelled money. It appears over a dozen users who were added to r/Wallstreet Bets as moderators 8 or 9 months ago have since removed. An archive of the moderator list from January 28th can be found here. Another 2 moderators have resigned from their roles in protected and moved to a new subreddit at Wallstreet Bets test. Oh my gosh. That is too much. Yeah, I mean, it's getting pretty wild. The forums are amazing. This is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I think this is where I'm definitely gonna stay in this forum for some time too. I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna be very active on the Reddit forums whatsoever too, because I'm not the type of person that can give any financial advice what they can do to make the GME stocks grow again too. But I mean, I know that's right now that's what they're doing too, is getting those GameStop stocks go to make it trend all over again. Probably make it by make their moves by tomorrow on Friday, which by Friday, which is today. Oh my gosh, and they want to make those moves high. Well, good luck with those guys. I wish them luck and God bless them. Oh my god. It's getting real crazy too. And this is a story I think at some point I will follow up again too. Again, so much this is so much news and so little time I can keep up with Reddit and things are going wherever things are going with Wall Street and stuff like that too. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of emotions, back and forth. So that's where we're at right now here with the story, and like I said, it's something that this is going to be a cycle of the poor against the rich on this too. So it's just another class fight that this is going to continue. Again, the internet is going to continue to rage on while more and more people are going to continue talking about what they've gone through, especially. Well, I do love my meme wars. I do love the reading over the internet. So to me, that's just me, and I like the internet, and the Wall Street Bets Reddit forum will be my to-go bets right there too. Now, especially before I close on today's topic right here too, because after the whole frenzy of what went on, I decided to go on right there too, especially with now also Dogecoin rose up. There were a lot of good performing cryptocurrencies that were actually performing really well, especially in fact, let me go to my CoinGecko. Look this up right now. In fact, the coin that actually just rose up to a couple dollars. In fact, Litecoin did actually really well right from the beginning. Yeah, right from the beginning of the week, in which actually I made some gains over at eToro, which wasn't too bad, and I actually liked it too. Now, eToro is actually an okay platform, which isn't too bad. It's actually a very easy platform, and I've been using that platform for about the last several days, and which with all this happening, this kind of made me inspired to place some of my bets and say, hey, let me give it a try. Let's see how this works right there too. And so I did, and I decided let me just go ahead and try my bets. In fact, yeah, I'm making some good gains. It's not bad at all. Like the um I like how you can just put your a trade in and make some great returns. Absolutely fun. However, I don't recommend everybody to jump in it yet before doing the research. But however, I do recommend the platform if you guys know anything about trading. No, no recommendations. No, this is not a sponsor or anything whatsoever too. So, but however, if you are into cryptos, this is pretty much a very good site to try out eToro for the first time. But I'm sure there are tons of very good um, crypto trading platforms out there for those crypto junkies like myself, because I know that cryptos are gonna continue to skyrocket this year, especially with my hopes are like I've seen and follow up like Chainlink has been doing very well and it's performed very well. Adding with Polkadot. Polkadot's actually had some leverage which climbed up somewhat, which I very much liked right there too. And I've actually had some hopes for LTC to climb up more and more, but I think that won't happen until probably later in the months ahead. Especially it's right now it's just going sideways, and I'm not gonna be focusing on Litecoin too much. Which I will keep my own Litecoin in my own wallet, which that's something I will do. For personally, I love Litecoin. I think Litecoin will perform really well, but the big performer, however, I see right now that's going on, it's definitely Ethereum. Ethereum is actually you are early to get into the Ethereum coins. And Ethereum, I know a lot of people have been saying that, oh, it's too late, and I don't think I'm gonna get enough Ethereum. But if I have to put this bluntly, you're not too late to get the coin. And even though Ethereum is around the 1,628 price mark, it doesn't mean that you're too late. And in fact, you'll still have time to purchase probably like a quarter of the price or a fraction of the market price right there too. So you don't have to get the whole 1,628 price the price right there too. You just don't have to. In fact, you could just get a portion of it and just let it grow. That's what I've done with other coins. And heck, go for coins that will help out. Especially look at EOS, which EOS is not too bad. Monero, to me, I have some good hopes with Monero. If for any reason, if Bitcoin gets more and more regulated, or if they were trying to regulate privacy coins, I know that price of Monero will go high. That's how I see it right there too. Now the granddaddy of Bitcoin, especially what we're seeing, is BTC. BTC had gone all the way up to 40K, which is super impressive about a month or two ago, which I loved the price what I seen with Bitcoin. But since right now I don't mind it slowing down a bit, because right now the old granddaddy of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, definitely needs good relaxation. To me, I think it has gone up and it has gone down, and to me, it's just definitely had its moments already as well. Too, but to me, I'm not in a rush to have BTC to go any further, because otherwise, if it does, then that's when it'll get too expensive to own. You see what I'm saying? So you definitely want to go ahead and not rush in and go for BTC if you can't afford BTC. No, you're not gonna. Of course, I'm not gonna say or recommend to get the full 37K on BTC, which you don't have to. Absolutely, you don't have to. You could just get $100 of Bitcoins, and you should be good to go probably once it climbs up too. But however, I'm actually quite glad that I actually jumped into the crypto scene much earlier, around 2013, while Bitcoin was still at its low, and while you had other cryptocurrency that were still in its development, like Ethereum, Litecoin, and then all the other starting coins that were still coming out from the woodworks even at the time. And I was still very, very a big novice, after finding out these things too. It was just very weird how how cryptocurrency all started right there. But I just knew for the matter of time that I just couldn't ignore Bitcoin and then the cryptocurrency that was on its upon its infancy. There's just no way on earth I wanted to ignore the news on that too. I just said to myself, I've got to get into this train, because otherwise, if I wait much longer, I won't be able to afford it. And so that's what I did, thankfully. And especially what I will tell all my listeners is go for it while you can. I think the more you wait on cryptocurrencies, the more it's going to get expensive overall in the long run. And to me, the reason I hold Chainlink, actually 5 links right here, is because I want to keep Chainlink, because I think the properties of Chainlink has quite tons of good potential, especially the smart contracts having ties with the traditional finance, which is very, very good. And that's why I decided to hold some Link right there. In fact, if I do at some point, I will actually purchase some more Link down the road. But it is starting to get very, very expensive. So if I wait much longer, when it gets up to 50, probably be too late to own more later on too. Because the best thing you will do is hold on cryptos as much as you can. Get the ones that are lowest and hold ones that are in value too. Of course, you do the research, because there are tons of things that you can do to gain a lot on your way too, especially. And you definitely have a lot of altcoins that are starting to climb up really, really well. And there was a coin called Duck. Anyways, it was called a coin called Duck. It was actually it started around $3 and then climbed all the way up to $74, which is crazy for one of those altcoins to climb this fast too. So this tells you right there is that if you wait too long, those altcoin projects are gonna just soar up to the roof. It's just very much unbelievable. Please, if you think that times are gonna be tough with the Biden administration, guess what? You're gonna be in pain when the Biden administration, it's gonna hurt a lot of Americans, not just Americans in general. A lot of people living their first world that are gonna be hurt in the long run. So anyways, that being said, this is the talk of the day, talk of the night. Thank you so much for coming, because at this point, I'm going to be ready when things comes hitting down. But with that said, thanks for listening to the Leon LeGray podcast. This is Leon speaking, and I am out. Peace and take care.